Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. It's Manisha here. So today I'm going to be doing an ocean fluid nail art. Now I've used loads and loads and loads of nail polishes, as you can see. So some are from a Born Pretty store. I've thrown in a holographic and a shimmer one. I've also got a white polish from Beauty Big Bang, a beautiful navy blue from OPI. I saw, you saw, we saw, Warsaw. And I've got an Essie one. This is a metallic-y sort of colour. I thought it'd be nice just to, oh, this one's really cool too. This one's from Kleen colour, and you can see it's a beautiful sort of pearlescent polish. But I thought it'd be quite nice to use a really good mixture of colours and different sort of finishes. So I've got this one from Sinful Colors. So it's like the Dance Legend Spotted, which is this one here. Does similar sort of effect. I find it's not as good though, to be honest with you, but anyway, I wanted to use a blue coloured one, and I thought for this one I'd throw in some Chameleon Flakies as well. So this is what I'm working towards. This is one I've just made. I've got a little tiny silicone mat there, and I really liked how those Chameleon Flakies showed up on the polish. It just sort of added an extra element to it, and there's some really nice cells that have been formed as well. So I've got this little cute butterfly shaped one, and I will be showing this method on a stamper head as well. You don't have to have a silicone little shape thing that I've got there. You can use other things too. If I find the direct link for these, I will actually leave them for you, but it has been a while since I've purchased them. They're one of those things that I grabbed feeling like I really needed it there and then, and when they came in I hadn't actually used them for a long time. They've just kind of been sitting there, but they are quite handy. I think they were either from AliExpress or Born Pretty store, so I will leave a link if I do find a seller that's selling them. So as you can see here, I'm just sort of doing drops of each of the polishes. This is slightly sped up, I think, from memory. Yeah, just very, very slightly sped up. It's basically just, as you can see what I'm doing, it's not really that complicated, but I'm just sort of working in about a 1-inch square or a 4-meter square section. You can go as big or as small as you want to. I was feeling that I wanted to sort of do a fairly large piece that I could use for many nails at the same time. So the last two polishes I'm adding here are the two sort of spotted type ones, and then I thought I'd just go in a little bit more with that shimmery one. I didn't want to sort of lose it underneath everything else. But the two, that blue and the white that I've got on the right hand side of the screen, are the ones that help the cells form. So basically all you do is just sort of mush the or press the sides together, and as you can see the cells are starting to form, and it's creating a sort of like a marble effect. Now those of you that know me very well know that I can't leave things well alone, and I probably should have just left it at this stage, but no, I thought it would be nice just to add some more because I just couldn't help myself. So anyway, this is me just adding more of the colours where I felt like it needed a little bit more happening on that side of the actual design. So I'm just going to continue. You can keep doing this as long as the polishes are wet. Just remember, the more you play with it, which I'm doing here, the more the colours are going to kind of mix together. And I think in hindsight probably would have been better if I just sort of left it well alone and not mixed it up so much, because what ends up happening is your colours really do mix together. Now I wasn't going for an ocean theme at all when I first started this. It was actually for a Instagram collab, which I did quite a while back, and I'm just getting around to doing the actual video for it right now, and the editing side of it. And it was do a nail art design using your favourite colour. My favourite colour is blue, or any shade of blue. I particularly like navy blue, but I do like lots of other shades. So I thought what I'll do is I'll do a fluid nail art. And then the idea popped in my head was to add the sort of spotted or the cell forming polishes to it, just to add a little bit more interest, and that's what I've done. So I'm going to leave this one well alone, pop it aside with that first one I showed you, and I'm going to be showing you how to do it on a stamper head. So this is purely for the people that haven't actually got a silicone mat. You can just do it on a squishy stamper head if you want to. Just anything that you can kind of peel it off quite easily, because these things will take time to dry. There is quite a lot of nail polish going on there. Some parts of it will be thicker and some parts will be thinner. But yeah, you will need to leave these well alone. So what I did with mine was I sort of did them in the morning, and then that afternoon, just sort of after lunch, I peeled them off. They'd had plenty of time to dry, and proceeded with the design. But I mean, it really does depend on how much polish you've used, which particular polishes you've used, because some of them are faster drying than others. And yeah, just temperature and whatever, you know, there's always lots of different elements that you know, will regulate, you know, determines, should I say, how long it's going to take to dry. So just got to go to the touch dry stage and you'll kind of know when it's ready to use. But anyway, as you can see, I had a little bit of a hole in the middle of this one, so I'm just adding some more polishes just to cover that hole. And I'm just going to continue as I have with the previous one, and just sort of add a few more bits and pieces here and there, and yeah, just continue to kind of press the stamp. And don't be too forceful with it, because obviously the more you press it, the more likely it is again to get a little bit of a gap in the middle. If you've got lots in one area, you can always sort of do what I'm doing there, and that kind of moves the you know, the polish around and creates more of a marble effect. Now once they got to the dry stage, this is kind of like the touch dry stage, I decided to add the Chameleon Flakies. Now because they're not like, they haven't got any top coat or anything like that, the Chameleon Flakies will stick. Just kind of scatter them around, and I just use it to like a sort of orange wood stick there just to pop them on. You can just use your fingernail just to press them down, or use a silicone tool or something like that just to make sure they are stuck to the polished surface. And then I sort of let them dry further, and then sort of like around about lunchtime, what I ended up doing was just going over with a coat of top coat. So this one's not a fast drying one. The reason I do this is it just kind of you know, like whenever you do anything like this, you do end up with a few gaps here and there where the polish is really, really thin. And this just kind of adds a little bit more body to it, and it just makes it more, you know, you can use more parts of it, so to speak, instead of wasting loads of it. Because you are using a lot of polish, you know, and the reason I've done this many is because I want to do both hands. Even though doing that though, I did actually have lots left over. Some ladies do tend to store their pieces. You know, sometimes there's a bit of a time frame where you need to use things up, because they can go quite brittle, as nail polish does as it keeps drying. So as you can see, I'm sort of having a real good go at it and just showing you how dry it actually is. And I'm just using the end of my cuticle pusher there just to kind of start lifting the decal up. So you just run around the edge, and then once you sort of get a good lift going, you can kind of just carefully lift it up with your hands. If you feel like it's not going to lift up, you might need to let it dry a little bit longer. It really just depends on, like I said, on the polishes that you've used. You can even do this the day before and leave it drying overnight and use it the next day. I'm sure it still will be quite pliable. And as you can see, it's got a bit of you know, like you can actually just, it's not brittle, it's still quite free moving, so you can you know, like angle it onto your nails and you know, make it stick nice and flat. My nails are quite curved, so I always like to have something that's quite pliable. So I've got a pair of snips here, or you can use scissors, whatever you've got. And what I'm going to do is just choose a part of the one that I like the look of, and you know, decide which nail it's going to go on to, and just do a little bit of an estimate or a guess on how big I will need it. Now it's best to always cut it slightly bigger than you do need it. Obviously you can't add bits back once you've cut it. And I thought in this one it'd be quite nice to get a little bit of a contrast of the darker blue and that white sort of sweeping through the middle. It really did look like the ocean to me when, by the time I got to this stage, you know, the colours and the way that the white had sort of gone through and marbled and sort of created those cells. It really did look like the ocean to me, and I was really pleased with how this one turned out. So what I'm doing here is, because I've got nothing on my nails other than base coat, I'm just applying one of the nail polishes just to act like glue. So I'm going to leave that wet and apply that decal onto it straight away. So definitely do your measuring and most of your cutting before you pop it on your nail. You can use a base coat if you want to, or just use one of the polishes that you've used in your decal to act as your glue, and just kind of press it down. Now my nails do tend to curve you know, from top to bottom and from left to right, so I do have to do a little bit of manoeuvring. Once I got it all in position, I was happy with it. What I'm doing here is just cutting off most of the excess. Once I've done that, I'm just going to switch to some Cuticle Nippers, because this is great for really getting right into the edges and getting as close as you can to the nail. Now you will have to, you know, sort of trim right the way around. And if there's any other bits left, you can just continue with a polish remover and brush, just to sort of get right in amongst the edges, and that's what I'm doing here now. This also helps the decal to stick to the nail. If there's any gaps or anything like that, it'll kind of just act like another form of glue and help it really stick down. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing with the rest of the nails. So I've done them all off camera because I feel like I've explained what I've done. But if you need any more clarification, just drop me a little question down below. I'll be happy to help you. And once I've done all the nails, I'm just going to go ahead and add a coat of Seche Vite. So now what this will do is sort of give you a really nice glossy finish, but also kind of dry through all those layers. Now the polish is dry, but this will sort of make it sort of really adhere to the nail well, and it will make your mani last a lot longer. I really did like wearing this, and I'll show you now. I've done it on both my hands, so this is my left hand and my right hand, and like I said, there was plenty of decal left over, probably to do another person's hand, one hand. You could just do these as accent nails if you don't want to do all of your nails. You don't have to. This is a little bit of a close-up. I thought it'd be quite nice just to show the hollow in there, because I did throw a holographic polish in there, but I really love how the cells have formed. And the little Chameleon flakies, they just add a nice sort of twist to the design, something a little bit different. Here's some photos, and I will also pop these over on my Instagram post as well, so I've got a direct link for that down below. And if you haven't done so, I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've got a link coming up at the end. Check out other videos that I've done. I have done one of the fluid nail art that I have posted a video for, and hopefully I'll remember to link that for you. And thanks for stopping by. Have a great day wherever you are. Bye for now.